guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Carly and welcome to my YouTube family. So today is going to be a first impression and review of the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation and also the loose setting powder. I've been so excited to try these out. I did purchase them maybe 2 weeks ago and I've been really wanting to use them in a video to do a first impression and review for you guys to see how they work, if it's amazing, if it's a flop. You'll find out in this video. First of all, the foundation, I was super excited to try this one out. I love luminous foundations, and when I saw Anastasia Beverly Hills was releasing this, I definitely wanted to try it out. I love Anastasia Beverly Hills, it's one of my favorite brands, and I've been waiting for them to release a liquid foundation, and I was super happy it was a luminous one because there's so many matte foundations coming out from brands at the moment, and for those of you like me who have dry skin, we need something a little bit more on the dewy, luminous side, so I was so happy that Anastasia released this foundation. I was also really excited for the loose powder. Anastasia does such amazing jobs with her products, and Novina, who creates the products, who's Anastasia's daughter, and I just knew that this was going to be amazing. I'm hoping it's going to be just as good as the Laura Mercier Translucent because that's been at the top of the game for such a long time. It does come in this really massive container, so that's amazing. And I'm really excited to try out both of these products. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below if you aren't already. I'd really appreciate it. You can join my little YouTube family. Let's just jump straight into this video. If you'd like to see a first impression and review on the new Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid foundation and the loose powder, then please keep watching. So first I'm going to prime my skin using the Henriksen Banana Bright Face Primer. I love this primer. It just makes my skin feel so hydrated, but I also feel like it smooths out my pores as well, so it's been one of my favourite primers to use. And next here is the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation. I really like the packaging. It's a really nice sturdy glass bottle, and it does have foundation written on the back in case you didn't know what this product is. I'm not quite sure why they did that, but that's okay. I still think it looks okay. I am using the shade 310C. Now I have pulled up the Anastasia website just to give a little bit of information about this foundation. So it does say that it is a water-resistant liquid foundation that creates a luminous natural finish. The radiant formula delivers long-wearing medium coverage, yet still feels weightless and looks ultra fresh. It does say that the luminous foundation looks so great on its own that there's no need to set it with a powder, so that's interesting. You don't even need to set your face with this foundation. It's available in 50 completely natural shades. This lightweight foundation blurs any imperfections, including discoloration and unevenness, without caking or masking the skin's natural radiance. With a seamless application, this easy to blend face makeup leaves the skin with a perfect looking complexion that is free of flashback or oxidization. What that's telling me is this is pretty much everyone's dream in a foundation. It is more of a luminous finish, so if you like matte foundations, you might not like this one, but if you're looking for that beautiful luminous radiant looking foundation, then this might be the one for you. So I'm going to apply this on one side of my face with a brush and one side with a sponge, just to see the difference in the application. I usually use a sponge for my foundations, but I have been using brushes recently, so I just wanted to see how it would look on both sides of the face. One side using a brush, one side with a sponge. Okay, so I've just applied 2 pumps on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to apply this directly onto my face on this side, and this is the side I'm going to use the brush first. I'm going to use my Tarte brush. This is my favourite foundation brush. I really like the more bigger brushes for foundation. I just find it so much easier to apply. It covers a lot of area quickly and it does blend in. I like the kabuki brushes. The brush hairs just really make the skin look flawless and they just blend in beautifully. So we'll see how it goes. This is a really nice colour for my spray tan. It's matching me really nicely. And I can see that it's giving a really nice luminous finish. You can see that beautiful glow to the skin. And this is more of a medium coverage, but I do think you could build it up to more full coverage, but it's covering my skin really nicely at the moment just with one application. Okay, so that is that side of the face done with the brush. I will say it feels very lightweight on my skin. I feel like I'm not even really wearing foundation. It's definitely a nice lightweight feel. It doesn't feel heavy or cakey. It has covered it really well, although I can see a little bit of redness still from a couple of blemishes on my chin. So I could go in with a little bit more product to see if that will build up nicely. So I might try that now. Just put a little bit more on my brush and I'll just go over this area here. So that does build up really nicely on the skin. It doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't look cakey. So I'm pretty impressed with this foundation so far. It just feels really nice and luminous and light on the skin, which is what I like from a foundation. And it does give really nice medium buildable coverage as well. So I've put another 2 pumps on this side of my face, and I'm just going to apply it on my skin first and then go in with my beauty blender and just start to blend that in with my beauty blender on this side of the face. I do think using my beauty blender might give it a little bit more of a luminous look, just because it is a wet beauty sponge, so it's not going to dry out the foundation as much as applying it with a brush. Okay, and that is this side of my face blended in with the beauty blender. I think it does look really beautiful and luminous on both sides, so I don't think it matters if you use a brush or a sponge. I do usually prefer a sponge just because I have dry skin. It does give that little bit more of a luminous feel. It does feel a little bit more hydrating, but I find it looks really nice on both sides. I'm really impressed with the coverage. It is more medium coverage, but I find it has covered my skin really nicely, and I just love the lightweight feel of it. It just feels very, very lightweight. It is a little bit more of a creamier liquid consistency, so it's not very runny, watery, but it still feels very light on the skin. So first impression is I think it looks really beautiful. So my first impression is I really, really like the look of this foundation on my skin. I think it looks beautiful, radiant, glowing, has a really nice amount of coverage, and it just does feel really lightweight on my skin. So far so good. We'll see how it goes applying the rest of my makeup and how it wears throughout the day as well. So now I'm just going to apply some concealer, and then we can try out the loose powder as well. So first I'm just going to use the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Medium. And I'm just going to conceal the areas that I usually would under my eyes, my forehead, down my nose, and a little bit on my chin. I do have a few little blemishes here, so I'll apply a little bit there as well. And just using my beauty blender, I'm just going to blend that in. I do wish Anastasia came out with a really nice concealer. I know they've got those little pot concealers and the sticks, but I really hope they come out with a really nice concealer to go with the foundation and the powder. I think that would be really nice. Wow, I have to say my skin looks really flawless, but still dewy and luminous. I think the concealer blended out really nicely with the foundation, so that looks really good. I do often use my Tarte Shape Tape for more glam looks, so I do think that this looks really nice together. Now for the loose powder, I have the Anastasia Loose Setting Powder in the shade Vanilla. So this one has a little bit of pigment to it, and let's see how this one goes. I'm going to use it to bake under my eyes and down the center of the face where I applied concealer. So it has the little sieve here on the packaging, which I really like. So that way you can just deposit the right amount of powder and not get too much from just having an open lid. So that's really nice. Okay, so I've just got some of that on my sponge, and I'm just going to bake under my eyes. And then also the center of the forehead, down the nose, and on my chin. So it does look like a really nice brightening loose powder. It's not stark white translucent. It does have a little bit of pigment to it, which I personally prefer, because translucent powders can come off a little bit more white and give that white cast in flash photography, which is why I like ones like the Laura Mercier translucent powder, because it does have a slight pigment to it. So this one is looking really nice at the moment. I'm just going to dust that powder off now. that's looking really nice. It has certainly brightened a little bit under my eyes and down the center of the face, but it doesn't look too dry or too bright, so I'm quite liking that at the moment. Now it does say that the foundation doesn't need to be set with a powder, but I always like to use just a light bit of powder, especially before I apply other powder products on top like my bronzer and blush. So I am going to use a little bit of the loose powder and just dust it all over my skin with a big powder brush, and that way it'll just lightly set my makeup. So just picking a little bit up on this brush, and I'm just going to lightly dust the areas that I didn't bake, just around the perimeter of the face. And I do like to use loose powders for this just because it's a much softer application than a pressed powder. You can have a bit too much coverage with a pressed powder, so the loose powders I find just gives that nice dusted airbrushed effect. Okay, so that is the whole face done with the powder, and I do say I like the way it looks right now. It doesn't look too drying under my eyes or anywhere on my face. It's not picking up any dry patches on my skin or anything, so far it's looking quite flawless and airbrush, which is what I really like, so happy with that at the moment. So I'm just going to go and do the rest of my makeup, and then I'll be back and I can show you the final look and see how the foundation and powder is looking with the whole makeup look complete. Okay, so I've finished off my makeup and I have to say I am in love with this foundation. First impression, I think it looks absolutely beautiful on my skin. It just gives that beautiful luminous look like it says it does. I just think it has blended into my skin beautifully using both a brush and a sponge, so I think you could definitely use either and they would look just as good as each other. And I really like the powder as well. It has applied beautifully under my eyes. I don't have any creasing or heavy caking look from the powder, so that looks really beautiful, and it has slightly highlighted and brightened down the center of my face. So yeah, I have to say I'm very impressed at the moment. Of course, I'll be testing it out throughout the day and reviewing it. I am going out now, so in a couple of hours I will come back and I will do a review for you guys and see how it has lasted throughout the day. And yeah, I have to say so far I'm really loving it, but we'll see how it goes throughout the day, how it wears, whether it's long lasting, whether it still looks this luminous and beautiful after that period of time. So I will be back shortly for a review on this foundation and powder for you. So I've just come back from being out for a couple of hours, and this is how the foundation and powder is looking at the moment. It's definitely still beautiful looking on my skin. It has creased a little bit around my smile lines, but that happens with every foundation and powder that I wear, so that's nothing new for me. But I do think it still looks absolutely beautiful on my skin. I don't have any cakiness or dryness under my eyes, which is always a good sign with a powder. That can tend to happen to me sometimes. And the foundation, it hasn't settled into any fine lines. It hasn't separated or got patchy or looked dry on my skin at all. Even though I did set it with a little bit of powder, it still looks beautiful and luminous. It's definitely a very big thumbs up for me for both of these products from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I can definitely see myself using these quite a lot, and I think this is going to be one of my favorite foundations especially. I really love the foundation, and the powder is going to be on rotation in my makeup drawer for some loose powders to use. I do think it's amazing that there's 50 shades of the foundation and there's a few different shades of the powder as well. It's definitely 2019, the year of providing enough shades for every single skin tone out there. There's no reason why no one should be able to find a foundation in their shade. So definitely really happy that Anastasia has kept up with some of the brands releasing such a high number of shades. And I think this foundation is going to look amazing on all different skin tones. And I just think it's such a beautiful foundation. I love luminous foundations, so I can see myself using this one quite a lot. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.